Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode or week of our City of Mist campaign, The Reaper Soldiers. We are joined once again by our power team of William, Blanche, Eric, and Georgie, and I'm really happy to get back in here. Thank you for joining tonight, and yeah, let's go ahead and hop right into it. So the last time we were here, the four of you decided to start investigating this individual known as Nadiv Fredman. He was the owner of the wallet and assumably the body that you found in the well that had made the entire West Slum sick. Along with the wallet, you had found a token, a golden oasis token, that led you all to go to the Golden Oasis Casino, located in the beachfront, kind of on the edge of town. Very beautiful building that allows all walks of life to enter and gamble within its walls. A wide variety of table games, betting, gambling are found within. It has a theater or a venue that seems to enhance the quality of the sound to attract patrons. A large endless pool outside that dips up and over the river, allowing those that wish to swim to take a time to relax away from the tables and enjoy a bit of the luxurious life that they might not be able to where they come from. Inside there's a large bank, variety of bank tellers, and you also learn that this is not necessarily the best place to go in and open your eyes to see all that exists, as there seems to be quite a bit going on here beyond what the sleepers might be able to see. Quite a few special people, enhanced individuals, as it were. The party kind of split up for a little bit to listen around, get an idea of what may have happened. Georgie went to try to see if this Nadiv person might have been on the books. Turns out he was, and she was able to find a bit of a timeline that he had been gambling for the past couple months. He hasn't been back for about a month now. And when he started off, it was very low wages that he was trading in. But by the time he had stopped, or when the time he no longer attended, he was actually using quite a lot of money. So it seems like he was quite successful while he was here. Both William and Georgie also were able to go to a show. And they were able to experience against the enhanced sound quality within the theater. For Blanche and Eric, they decided to roleplay a bit and pretended to be an engaged couple. Eric decided to place a little bet, what harm could it do? Well, it turns out he must have a bit of luck on his side, as he won quite a bit of money, and with that money he gained the attention of the floor boss and now has one of the guards keeping an eye on him, as it does have a variety of people here and they want to make sure that all of their patrons are safe, especially with those that have just won a lot of money. After a bit of studying, Blanche noticed a peculiar figure sitting on his own in one of the restaurants, a priest sitting up against the back wall eating a sandwich by himself, and they decided, well, he seems special, let's just go in and join him. She did approach him after a little bit of trying to call him over to their table with no success, in which she tried to learn a bit more about him. He wasn't very upfront with the information he wanted to give her. However, he was very personal with some information he did provide to her, specifically speaking her parents' names and how dreadful it would be that they would not be at her upcoming wedding. This conversation and maybe a bit of overpriced or very expensive wine caused Blanche to enter in a vision in which she saw her brother laying on her parents' bed. A large spotlight shone down upon him, seeming to dry him out like the desert sun. She approached him and noticed that she was about 13 years of age as far as the figure that she had taken, the form she had taken within this vision. While Eric noticed that Blanche had slumped over, clearly cause for concern, he attempted to awaken her to bring her back from the vision, but ended up being pulled into it himself, where he got a glimpse of Blanche, but younger, the first time anyone would have seen her real face. He also saw her brother, as he is now but very ill, dried skin, very gaunt, very dehydrated. But when Blanche decided to destroy this spotlight, it caused Eric to be forced from her vision. He noticed a bit of a scene was arising around them as, well, there's a woman passed out with wine spilled, expensive wine, and of course the hostess and the people of the casino wanted to make sure everything was all right. He was able to persuade them that everything was okay, and they moved to go outside. That is where we find the group now. Blanche still slumped over, her eyes closed. Eric sitting there at this table near the pool. Few sunbathers are out there, a few people, again, swimming in the pool, all walks of life. William and Georgie have just begun to make their way outside, and that's where we start today. Still a nice day outside, quite sunny, nice and warm. William, as you begin to walk outside, you start to feel your stomach kind of start to churn a bit, feeling you're familiar with. And then you find yourself clutching your stomach in pain. I need you to face danger against losing your well-fed status as you feel a hunger begin to clench deep within you.
Oh man, I'm a barf everywhere. We'll go with Indomitable. Yeah, we'll just go with Indomitable and face danger. Here we go.
Okay, so that's going to drop your well-fed to 1. So you still are well-fed. You don't lose it completely, but you notice that it's starting to get a bit... It's been a few days, so you're starting to feel a bit of hunger. As you're heading out, Georgie, you see Blanche and Eric over at the table, and you see William kind of stop, hesitate for a moment, kind of grab his stomach, and then begin to walk through. But you've been able to observe the scene. Eric and Georgie and William, what's the conversation? What do you guys want to do now that you're out here?
Oh, God. She's not awake.
What did you do?
What happened?
How much wine did you give her?
Barely any, and it was a gift. From a preacher, of all things.
Are you sure he was a preacher and not some kind of poison dealer?
He was dressed like a preacher. That's all I know.
They usually are.
If she was awake, she could tell you more about it. She talked to the guy more than I did, but...
Well, why haven't you woken her up?
I tried.
Just gotta shake her.
All right.
This conversation begins to fade as the light begins to go dark, and as the light comes back up, we're no longer sitting outside. We're sitting inside the parents' bedroom. Blanche is there laying her chest up against her brother's, or her head up against her brother's chest. She still appears to be much younger than she is. Her brother is still the same age, but now looking healthy, stroking her hair and consoling her. They haven't spoke for a while, but the last they had spoken, it was about their parents' death, the funeral they had just gotten home to, and how they would be the legacy of the Astor family. Blanche, after a few more moments of this, your brother kind of picks you up and wipes the tears from the side of your face and moves your shoulder so you can face him. You need to calm down now. Time for tears and all that. It is past. It's not the time to look forward. The sun always rises. There's always a new light on the horizon, and that is what we walk towards. Each day, we must take a new step towards what that horizon will bring us. But it's time for you. You have to go. You have to take
Where?
that first step.
Go where?
He sighs for a moment. You have to go where I cannot. You have to find your place. You see the light in your room begin to darken once more. It kind of looks towards you. You notice his eyes begin to show signs of fear. He looks down towards the floor and he looks back up to you once more. You have to go. You can't stay. Little B, you have to go.
I don't want to leave you.
You don't understand. It is... The room begins to get darker and darker yet. It's not right. It's not right what has happened. You have to. Please.
Can I try to secure the vision so that it'll stop getting darker?
Yeah, go ahead and go toe to toe to take control here.
Okay. We'll go with cast magic spells. I'm in a vision, so I'll go with premonitions and see beyond the mists.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
So what are your two?
Well, I want to achieve my goal.
Mm-hmm.
And can I counter whatever is doing this to me? Like, sort of take control of whatever pushed me into this vision in the first place?
So
I mean, not
yeah,
it or them, but the vision itself.
So right now, it's an emotion that seems to be driving the darkness. So what would you change your emotion to be to counter it, or how you would like this vision to actually be? The emotion might be fear, anger, or it could just be depression. But yeah, what would you change that emotion to?
Anger.
Okay.
I think it's fear now and hopelessness, so she'd probably counter with just being pissed off.
So there's a fireplace in your parents' room, and it bursts into dark orange flames, causing light to fill up the room once again. Your brother sees this and stops, kind of shakes his head. I'm sorry, little B. Just the day it's gotten my head into spins. But
Mine too.
I guess I need to probably get things in order. I I don't even know where to start. Father has he had so much he was doing.
One thing at a time. No one expects you to be him.
I guess for now we should probably make sure that everything's been packed away, that the servants are doing what's needed. He begins to walk over and he grasps your hand, and as he does, you notice that his form begins to change as well. And for the first time, you see a change in the dynamic of your relationship. He now seems to be a bit younger, maybe the same age, maybe a bit younger, but definitely no longer older than you. And he comes over, he kind of grabs your hand, and well, I think we must do this together. Come,
Yes.
let us go. And he begins to walk towards the door, trying to pull you towards the door of your parents' room.
I'll let him.
As the door swings open, you feel like the walls are much taller. Everything seems to be like you're much smaller in a much larger house. He doesn't seem to notice as he walks down the hall towards the banister that looks down towards the grand staircase. Kind of comes up to the second floor, and he sees blurs of servants moving back and forth. They move as if shadows. You can't really tell full figures, but you can just tell they're working almost at an enhanced speed. And he sees that and he says, "Good." And he turns and he begins to head towards the office of your father and begins taking you here. And it's not a place you've been often. Maybe it's not a place that you should have been or have ever had any need to, but he starts dragging you towards it.
Like forcefully dragging, or
Like
just
wanting,
leading?
he doesn't want to let go of your hand, and he's moving towards that room.
Then I will follow.
He opens the door, and inside on the wall there's a portrait of your father. And it feels like it's looking down, and you see him look up at it meekly. Kind of longing, but also prideful. And as you start to look around the room, you see that there's stacks of papers, envelopes, almost all over the place. They're not really out of fashion. Everything seems to be stacked and orderly, but there's quite a bit. Your brother lets go of your hand, and he goes over to one of these stacks. And he begins to go through, and he opens an envelope, and he pulls out a letter, and he tosses it aside. He pulls up another one, and he opens a letter, and he tosses it aside. And he begins to get in this rhythm of pulling up a letter, opening it, tossing it aside.
What are you looking for?
I must get these done. Tossing them
But
aside.
you're just looking at them, you're not doing anything with them.
The work needs to be done. So you look down to this pile that's slowly growing on the floor. Parchment and torn envelopes. You don't see any writing. They seem to be blank.
I think at this point it would start to click that this is not as real as it feels.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try to wake up?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you've been when was the last time that you were so drawn to a vision?
It's probably been a while, not since like close to when I first started getting visions.
Mm-hmm. What is your
made
method?
it a point to try and I mean, normally my method would be to try and like ground myself and focus on things that are real and kind of pull myself towards them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a long time since I've been in something this big, so or this elaborate and involved.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm gonna focus on myself and the real me,
Mm-hmm.
and just try to kind of force my way back to consciousness, maybe,
So as
or to
you
break the vision.
as you stand there, trying to recognize, okay, like pull on the pieces that you know are real. You see the pile begin to grow and grow, and just as they begin to reach your lower calf and up towards your knee, you feel the cold of the glass table that you're resting upon. And as your eyes kind of open and adjust to the bright light as you're outside, you see William and Georgie standing in front of you just as the door behind them swings open. And Lonnie Callan, the individual that had been sent to keep an eye on Eric, walks outside. William and Georgie, you hear someone approach behind and kind of push past you. Mr. Stein, is everything okay? The hostess inside said your betrothed might have had a bit of an incident. Are we okay here? Kind of looks and...
Yes, no, we're fine. It was the little bit too much alcohol, a little too little to eat. It was strong wine. She just needs some air.
I see. Very good. Can I fetch you anything? Water? Kind of notices
yes.
her eyes begin to...
The water would be great. Thank you.
Of course. Are these two joining you? Would you like me to send someone out for the table?
I don't think that's necessary. I think we'll be on our way once she's feeling up to it.
Very, very well. Kind of claps his hands together. I will go fetch that water. I'll return shortly.
Thanks.
What happened?
The wine did something.
Is that what that was?
I think.
Well, how are you feeling?
My head hurts, but I'll be fine.
Right.
You were out for a while.
Yes, well, I'm all right. So, well, clearly that priest isn't what he seemed to be.
I'd say so.
Wait, what priest? What happened while we were gone?
Well, there was a priest inside and he seemed rather out of place. I attempted to speak to him and... let's say he knew things about me he should not have been able to. And then sent a bottle of wine to our table that, as far as I could tell, he never touched. But the moment I drank it, I fainted.
Okay. And he's no longer here?
He left.
Right.
He sent the bottle over as he was leaving, actually.
Did you get a name?
I don't think he gave us a name, but he leads a parish outside the city in the suburbs.
It's a start.
But
Maybe
you should know, he's far from the only odd person here. This whole place is filled with people who are more than they appear to be.
Oh, I'm well aware. Like the undead bartender.
What?
Yes, the bartender tends not to have a heartbeat for some reason.
Okay.
Oh, I think the
Right.
people who hand out, who do the banking here are also not as they appear, and the coins that they give you, the chips, they're dark things. I wouldn't hold on to them if you can help it.
I think it's probably time we hightail out of here.
Let's just give her a minute,
I'll be fine. Let's go.
if you insist.
As you all get up to begin making your way back inside, Lonnie reaches the door just as you're walking through. He kind of opens the door wide for you. Oh, it looks like she's doing okay. Kind of reaches his tray of water out to the group.
I will take a glass and take a long sip. I'm quite all right. Thank you for your concern. I'm sorry. I should have known better. I'm prone to fainting spells as it is.
Oh, no reason to apologize. We're happy that you're feeling well. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Lisbeth.
Miss Elizabeth, absolutely. Are you all headed back to the tables then?
No, I think we're going to call it an early day.
Oh, I see. Very, very well. They have taken your winnings over to the bank. You can fetch those, or if you'd wish to just store them here, of course, you can fetch them at a later point.
Yes, I think I'll leave them here for the moment.
Oh, of course. Well, Mr. Stein, it's been a pleasure to serve you. We look forward to seeing you. Please make sure to return again soon. Perhaps after the wedding, bring the entire party here. We'd be happy to throw a private event. We do have such things.
We'll take it under consideration.
Of course.
Thank you.
Well, you will have a wonderful day. We look forward to seeing you again.
I'll nod. And after he walks away, I'm gonna look over at Georgie and William. Tell me one of you has one of those chips, at least one.
I've got a pocket full.
Good. I'll need to look at it later.
So as you begin walking through this Saturday crowd, again, there's a light music that's playing in the background. There's a variety of cheers and jeers as individuals win and lose. And you make your way towards the front door. You do see that off to one side, there's a few individuals that are dressed in kind of pinstripe suits. They don't fit the same kind of wear that the workers inside are, and they are having conversations with individuals that are leaving. Occasionally, one of the folks that they're talking to will turn and move away. But as you're getting close to the door, William, you feel a grasp at your side, and you turn, and there's a younger woman there, still wearing the same kind of dark black vest, white sleeves, and you recognize her as the blackjack dealer, and she grabs your arm. Oh, excuse me, sir, I didn't see that you had cashed out your tokens. If you'd like, you can store them here. But I'm afraid we don't let any of the tokens out. If I'd be happy to escort you to the banker if you'd wish.
I am squeezing Eric's arm.
How about Georgie nods at Blanche, because she still has some, but she just never played any of them. Like, she has whatever she got. She never used them. So, right, Uncle, go ahead and let her look after your chips for you.
We'll be here when you get back.
Oh,
Yeah,
it'll be quick.
I'll just dump a handful into her hand.
No, these are your chips. I guess. What is your name, sir? Would you like me to deposit these for you?
Do whatever you want with them. Have a vacation.
I'm afraid that can't.
I'm afraid our uncle is probably had a little bit too much to drink.
Yes.
Do you think you could deposit them with my fiance's funds?
Oh, of course. What looks towards Eric? Your name, sir?
Stein. I'm Mr. Stein.
Mr. Stein. Very, very well. Yes, let me go and deposit these. I'll get you a receipt here in a moment. Don't go anywhere. Begins to hurriedly make their way to the bankers.
And now we wait. I don't want to stir up suspicion.
No.
So you see her make her way to the door, open the door, go back behind, talk with one of the bankers who goes over to the vault, and they exchange the tokens. After a moment, he pulls out a notepad, writes down some details, and provides it to her. She makes her way over to him and provides you a slip, just basic token under Frankenstein, the total amount deposited and the total amount that's available, and it's like 30 pounds. Like it's a pretty hefty amount in there for most of you, not for all of you.
Dig it, you poor people.
Wow.
Yeah, bunch of poor people. What's wrong with
Wow.
Rude.
So
you? Some of us have jobs.
she
Some of
hands
us
it
don't
over
have jobs.
to William, kind of grasps his hand. It was a pleasure having you at my table today. I do hope to see all of you again. Gives you a big smile. You all have a wonderful day.
And you.
I'm gonna shake her a bit too hard. Yes, yeah, have a great day.
She's like, okay.
Right, Uncle, let's go. Let's go.
All right. So yeah, as you begin to leave the Golden Oasis, where are you guys all going?
We're flagging a cab, I would guess.
Let's maybe go back into town, just away from here.
Indeed.
Yeah, just in case.
So, I would assume probably back to the same place where we got a cab from last time, because I know we went a little bit into the city before we flagged one down. Because otherwise it would look weird if a bunch of people in...
Yeah, from the garbage
Right.
dump.
we're leaving the garbage dump.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're in the Old Boroughs, something like that. From
Yeah.
where you're at here, yeah, they obviously have cabs that run to and from the Golden Oasis quite a bit, so you can pretty much tell them wherever you want to go. So you wanted to head back to the Old Boroughs, or do you have another location you're planning to go?
Go to my house.
Why would we go to your house?
School grounds
think-
are empty.
Yeah, but your wife's at home.
And maybe I
Well,
want to see my wife.
Isn't it a bit
knowing
rude?
about all of this.
Whatever.
Do you... How would you explain showing up at your house with 3 complete strangers she's never seen before, William?
Foreign exchange students.
Foreign exchange students.
I'm reasonably certain that's the
Right.
most paper-thin lie I've ever heard.
Looking around at all of us, we're definitely not of student age.
Right, how about we go to a cafe downtown? I know a place.
Sure, I can't stay for long. I do have prior engagements.
Okay.
Right.
So your cab begins to take you out of the beachfront along the kind of the edge of the slums through the ethnic borough and kind of into the downtown area. You find yourself a little cafe. It's mid-afternoon at this point, so they have a variety of beverages available, a few finger sandwiches and all that, kind of quick meals available. But you find yourselves a table that's kind of away from everyone, off on its back in a corner, not to be disturbed. And yeah, what's the plan?
I mean, I'm gonna take a few minutes to kind of center myself, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna be quiet for a little while after everything else.
Did I keep any of the tokens?
Did you try to
Well, I didn't know. If, I don't know.
I'm-
Somebody kept some, right?
Georgie
Yeah.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgie,
Okay.
Georgie
had
had
it.
some.
Right.
I'm not all
Otherwise,
here. Sorry.
It's okay.
Right. So in the middle of stuffing sandwiches in my face, I'm gonna suddenly remember and dig into my pocket and dump like a fistful of tokens out. It's like, oh yeah, these are bad juju, right?
I'm gonna grab like a hot tea or something like that, bring it over to Blanche while she's trying to get herself together.
Thank you. I'm gonna take the tokens and sweep them into my bag.
Mhm.
My little arm bag to deal with later. It's not like I can sit here and do magic over them in the middle of the cafe.
I'm gonna sketch one into my notebook for research purposes later.
Yep, it just has it's GC on the front. On the back, it has like the front of the building etched into it.
Is there any sort of like a pattern or a motif or anything like that on these that I can also sketch down? I might ask around.
I mean, it's a pretty standard token, so it's about the size of a $50. It's again gold with a GC etched on the front for Golden Casino.
Okay.
Or no, GO. Sorry for Golden Oasis. Yeah, it's a GO, and then on the back it's the just the front, the facade of the building, kind of two domed structures over a square structure. Beyond that, you don't really see much more. It's pretty basic in its design.
So, what did you two discover?
That it's a trap. The whole place. It's made to contain people.
Well,
Or at least that's
dear,
what.
It's a gambling den. That's generally how they're set up.
I
is
mean-
to keep you there.
Their theater was enchanted in some manner to hook an audience on a mediocre singer.
And there are worse uses for magic, I suppose. But there's no actual enchantment to force you to stay. Simply
No.
to enhance the experience?
Yes.
Well, that's not surprising. They'd want to protect their business.
Yes.
Tell it the best they can. Anything else?
Other than the undead staff. And our new preacher friend. The lad we're after, he hasn't been here in 2 months. Been to the casino.
About a month.
A month. Okay.
But
JK,
he was
a
still
month.
carrying one of their tokens with him.
Do you
Seems
think
like an unusual thing to carry around with you after you've stopped going.
Indeed.
Unless he was killed a month ago.
If he was, then why did it take so long for the disease to begin spreading through the slums?
Well, the body may have had to rot enough.
It was in the sewer. It was in water. It would have. I would assume that would take less time, but I don't know for sure. But I think there's something
No.
that
Go ahead.
that missing month is concerning.
Mm.
It was a considerable sum he was playing with towards the end.
It could have just been robbed. And then gone wrong. It might not even be his body.
That's true.
Well, if it's not his body, then who is it? Whose is it?
Well, we'll have to
Possibly
verify.
the person who robbed them.
I think it would be best that we leave the preacher alone for now.
Yeah, I'm not certain he's related to this particular thing.
Yeah, last time I met Any kind of religious figure. It didn't end well. We have a lake now.
Jesus.
That was you.
I mean, yeah, it was us. It was mostly Mike, but
This is why they brought us in. They were a mess.
Oh boy.
I see. Right then.
So,
So there's also the issue with what is it? The garden keepers.
We've already taken care of it.
Task. We said, is that something we'd want to look into without him knowing?
I could care less about him and his giant problem.
yeah,
Right.
there seems to be no reason for.
why is this problem so big?
No, he has a problem with giants.
Oh,
Yeah, apparently actual literal giants.
and you don't want me to punch them?
I don't see any reason to when we have other things on our plate.
Okay.
I think the giants are his problem, and he did himself no favors in winning our help.
If it later becomes our problem, you can punch them all you want, though.
Yes,
Things
of
things
course.
usually become our problem.
Eventually, yeah. I suppose that might be true.
I think you need to prioritize, and that's not a priority.
So,
Yeah.
let's
Dorothy still wants the seeds for
let's,
her own agenda.
So what should our next steps be regarding this?
Well, we still need to look at his home.
Verify that it's his body.
Okay.
I don't know that we're going to be able to verify that it's his body, considering that it was gone, but we can at least see how long it's been since anyone has been in his home. And that might confirm a rough timeline for when he died, as long as he lived alone.
If more of us were on friendlier terms with the police, I'd say maybe we should consider if there were any reports about this man or anything related to him. But I think the house is the best we have.
I could certainly put in an inquiry. I haven't been in any trouble with the police.
What about
And-
Frederic? Just send him down.
About who?
Frederic.
Frederic.
I mean, we could ask him to send a letter, but it would be faster to just go to the source.
What doesn't he? What's her name? Talia Justice. Yeah.
I mean, he sends his reports to her, yes, but so do I. It would be faster to simply go in and ask.
Well, then let's do it.
But I think we should look at the home first.
I agree.
All right. Awesome.
I don't want to go in and try and report a missing person and see if they've got any other reports in if he's not actually dead.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, the police and I and missing people don't go over too well either.
I was gonna say, I have heard.
You should not be in attendance.
No. Maybe hang back and let some fresh faces.
Mike gets me in so much trouble.
I don't think you need Mike's help to find trouble.
My understanding of the last situation was that most of that was your idea and he simply acted on your advice.
Mike gets me in so much trouble.
I mean, he doesn't stop you when you get yourself into trouble.
Exactly.
All right. So you all begin to finish up whatever snacks and drinks that you had purchased and go and flag down another cab to take you over to the ethnic borough, Eric's home district. You know that this address is kind of on the edge of the district, kind of in a Middle Eastern kind of part of it. As you begin getting close to the address, you find the buildings are maybe 4 or 5 stories tall, maybe 10 or 15 individual residences within each. There's quite a few kids that are out there. They have, it looks like some kind of fruit, maybe a watermelon, cantaloupe, something like that they're kicking back and forth, almost like a game of soccer, but just kind of kids having fun. There's quite a few stray or possibly owned dogs that start to kind of bark and chase after the carriage that's going down the street, eventually get bored and turn off. The smell changes as you go through the district from the scent of incense to kind of perfumes, and as you get closer to this address, it starts to smell very much like cooked foods, meats and grilled vegetables, and it fills the air, kind of smelling quite good.
Should we still be looking like middle-class gamblers?
We don't look like gamblers, we just look like people in the middle class.
That's my everyday look. Look at
Right.
this.
It's not
So
out
it's-
of place here.
We don't.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never been in this borough. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We're a bit fair-skinned, but I think we'll be fine.
We get by.
Yeah, I'm pretty tan.
So as you get to the street where this resident is, the cabbie kind of stops, not sure of the exact address, and points you towards a collection of buildings. There's 3 or 4 of these tenement-like structures that all surround a courtyard. In the middle of the courtyard, there's this large ash tree with long hanging kind of vines in the middle of it. There's a few older women that are sitting and gossiping, a few children kind of playing out front, a stray dog that one of the kids is currently throwing a ball out for it to fetch and come back. Cabbie helps you get out of the cab and begins to head away. You take a look back on the address and you recognize the building number, and it seems to be the middle one across the courtyard. So you all begin to approach.
Mm-hmm.
As you start getting closer to the door, you hear a conversation coming from inside the doorway, and eventually 2 small, younger boys step into the doorway. And they look to be maybe 13, 14 years old, wearing shorts that are kind of ripped and torn. One of them's wearing a sleeveless kind of shirt. The other one's just wearing a vest, and they both kind of lean in. They neither of them look bathed. They look like they've been around for a little while, and they kind of look to you as a group and chuckle. Are you all lost?
No, are you?
No, this is our home. It's
Is
not your
it?
home.
No, we're here to see someone.
Oh, who's got the fancy folk coming to see him?
I told you.
I'd give the name, which I'm blanking on at the moment.
Nadiv.
Nadiv.
Both. He hasn't been here for a long time. You sure you're coming to see him?
How long has it been?
How much are worth for you to know?
We're being hustled by 14-year-olds.
I'm gonna, I guess, pull out a few shillings. I don't know what the...
Give them the casino tokens.
Probably.
I'm not giving them casino tokens.
No.
They're children.
Just
So,
go with whatever currency you know.
pound.
It's so
It goes pound, shilling, pence from highest to lowest.
Yeah, so I'll give them a shilling.
Kind of looks at that. Oh, yeah, no,
Oh.
this. What do you think? You seem. Yeah, Nadiv. He hasn't been around for about a couple weeks now. Yeah, like 2 weeks, something like that.
Only 2.
Yeah, he he was one of those, and he makes like the sign for like drink all the time. I think he might have drank a bit too much, got himself lost or something. Yeah, you know, he hasn't been back. I haven't seen his wife for a while either. Maybe they both left. Maybe they're gone for good. I don't know.
I'm gonna slip another shilling into his palm. What exactly do you remember him behaving like the last time you saw him?
Ooh, last time I remember, yeah, he had that like bruised eye. I remember he had like he'd been in a fight or something, and he was angry. Yeah, I think I remember him like probably. Who was that? Who was that he knocked over? You just see him. It's like Derek or some. Yeah, no, there was another kid that was in his way. He just kind of like threw him down, just knocked him out of the way. He's like, yeah, I wasn't there. I'd have like punched him again, give him another bruise. But no, he was just real angry and yeah, just mean, like one of those mean dogs.
And when was the last time you saw his wife?
Oh, man, she used to do the washing all the time. I remember she would use like some super strong smelling girly stuff. I hated that smell. I haven't seen her for what do you think you've seen? I was like maybe a week? No, it's been a little longer than that. Yeah, it was probably around the last time I saw him. Maybe a little less.
So it's been 2 weeks since both of them went missing.
About maybe not full 2. I think I saw her. I remember that smell again about probably on like Wednesday 2 weeks ago. So not exactly 2 weeks, but about like maybe 7, like 9, 10 days, something like that.
Could you show us which of these dwellings is theirs?
Kind of looks down to this fairly nice collection of coins that he's received. He's like, you know what? Yeah, no problem. You see him move out of the way. Let these great people go through. And he like kind of tries to stand up and opens his arms wide. Please, come in. Yeah, I'll bring you right up. They're on the 3rd floor here. So, all right, come on, follow me. Come, follow me, fine folk. He begins making his way up the stairs.
I'll follow.
Yeah, same here. I'm sitting close to Blanche, though.
As,
well, on the off chance, like I'm actually concerned that you're gonna pass out again. So
I'll bring up the rear. It'll be okay.
So as you begin kind of going up these stairs, the stairs seem to be on the far edge of the building. You look down each floor. There's a long hallway with maybe 4 to 6 doors that you can see depending on the floor. You get up to the 3rd floor, and just so you're getting up there, this cat like yowls and makes him jump for a moment. He like swats at it, stupid cat, and tries to again act all big. Makes his way up and gets up to the edge. And as you kind of get up to the 3rd floor, you can hear the sound of people talking, conversing. You know, probably the typical baby crying sound off in the distance. It seems like there's still people that live within the building, obviously. But he kind of steps up onto the landing and points down the hallway. Yeah, it's that one at the end. Like I said, I don't think he's gonna be home though. But yeah, I guess you can knock. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they aren't wearing clothes. Maybe Yazim, what if they aren't wearing clothes?
Thank you, darling. And I'm gonna pull out 1 more shilling and slip it into his hand for you to go back downstairs and forget our faces. Yes?
Yeah, you see him. We gotta go to the store, bro. You see him. Runs down the stairs, all excited.
You
Boys
made that kid more than I made in a day.
Boys are easy. And she just sort of waves her hand dismissively, like, I have a brother. This is simple.
I'm going to the store with
Try-
the kids. See you later.
I'm gonna try the knob. Is it locked?
It is. Yep.
Oh, allow me, please.
Of course.
Unless we'd like to knock first, just in case they are home.
I can
Which-
knock real hard.
Don't.
Don't that.
I didn't. I don't want to knock down the door. I'm just gonna knock. What's wrong with you people?
I will before I start trying to pick the lock. I will knock first, just casual, and then listen to see if I can hear anything on the other side of the door.
You wait for a moment. Nothing. It's quiet.
Okay.
This isn't a place that would have a fire escape, would it?
No. Just seems like the stairs you came up would be the only
Do you
way
think
down.
they had fire codes at that point? in
No,
time?
I'm not. Look, I'm not smart. Leave me alone. Okay? Just that wasn't maybe not so much a fire escape, maybe a balcony or something.
Yeah, I'd like to have a go at the lock on the door if I can.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say that this is a. Take
was
the
that?
risk. Yeah.
That next one fell over. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Well, we got to use the tools. Perceptive, so I can hear when I'm getting the tumblers just so.
Okay.
And I'd go with I will go with elaborate planner.
Okay.
That's what I'll do.
I do think
Eh.
your paranoia is probably going to play in here, as
All right.
you are surrounded by a group of still kind of new strangers. You're also in a place where if someone sees you breaking in, they may recognize you.
Yeah. Okay. I will give it a go. All the same.
Okay.
You said it was a what was it?
Take the risk.
Take the risk.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Woohoo.
So as you get down there, you start to fiddle along with the lock. Eventually, you hear the click of the knob, and you feel it. It's unlocked now.
Sweet.
I'm just gonna give him that like single raised eyebrow. Kind of a, if I were not such a nice person, I'd be asking how you know how to do that.
Okay, did he get it?
Mm-hmm.
He
Oh.
did.
Oh, he did he? Oh, all right. Sorry, I had to make sure nobody fell over.
Georgie pats him on the shoulder, like, good skills.
I'm gonna.
Tools
Are
of the
we
trade.
going in?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna grumble and walk past. I could have done that.
So as you open the door, a smell hits you all that caused you to kind of
That's what I was afraid of.
jump back as the smell of decomposing flesh
Mhm.
reaches
Ugh.
you all.
The weaklings. All the retching.
I'm going to produce a perfumed handkerchief and put it over my face.
I'm just gonna have a regular handkerchief over my face.
Well, you know, I have to have some manner of protection against the unwashed masses.
Oh, I get it.
I get it. We're still insulted, but we get it.
You're all poor, that's the point.
So as you open in, the light's coming through the window, and you can see the layout of this. It really is kind of more of a single room place. Across the far away is where the kitchenette's kind of set up. Off to your left-hand side, there's a curtain that's drawn around what is most likely the chamber pot. Towards the middle of the immediate entrance is kind of a seating area, possibly dining, or just where they would come together. And then off to the right, there's another curtain that's kind of sectioned off a part of the room, and you can see down below the curtain where there are two iron rods of the side of a bed. You can't see the other side of, and there is a dark liquid that has grown down beneath kind of where the bed is.
Quick note. I am closing the door behind us.
Okay.
That might be smart.
Closing me in with dead bodies is not a good idea.
Would you rather like anybody
Well, he
wandering by
doesn't
in the
know
hallway?
any better, William.
No, I'm saying, you know, the police don't tend to like me too much. And if somebody were to report the dead bodies and I'm standing here and the door's closed, that doesn't end well for
We're
me.
all inside.
Yeah, we're all-
We're in the room, and I don't want anybody walking in the hallway to be like, "My God,
I
what's
love
that
that
horrible
now
smell?"
is when you're antsy. Last time the police were potentially involved, you broke out of a paddy wagon, and now you're antsy?
He just doesn't want a repeat performance.
Look, people are like, you can't do that, and so I'm gonna try and not do that.
Well,
I didn't know I couldn't do that.
We appreciate it. Yeah, with the door closed behind us, though. I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah. So just looking around the room, you see that there is a teapot that's still on the actual stove top. The table has a few bowls that or dishes that appear to have some crumbs of food, a recent meal. There's paperwork and there's alcohol bottles all over the place. So it looks like a variety of newspapers that are just kind of all over. And then there's wine and hard liquor bottles that are up on the counters, on the table, kind of tossed over to the corner, kind of strewn all over the place.
I suppose we should go take a look at the elephant in the room.
Did you say there was a window in here?
There is, yeah. There's a window that's kind of up and over the kitchenette that's straight ahead from the door.
Okay. If it's covered, can I open the curtains to shed a little more light?
Yeah, it was already open.
Okay,
It
never
looks
mind.
out kind of onto the courtyard, and you can see the mid section of the tall tree that's kind of growing in the middle. So as it's moving around, it's causing the sunlight to kind of filter through the leaves.
Okay.
But yeah, there's definitely a decent amount of light in here.
So cover your noses. I'm gonna
Yeah.
pull this sheet.
So as you actually head over past this curtain that's kind of sectioned off the area, you see that there is a body on the bed. It's laying kind of diagonal across it, and William, it makes you have a brief flashback as the body lays dismembered, very much like the bodies of the first case you had worked on. You can see it is a woman, dark hair that's been kind of let down from curlers recently. Her neck has basically just been torn out, and a lot of her stomach region is just wrecked. There's blood all over the walls. You see bloods all up across the top of the ceiling, and from the smell, it looks like she's been laying there for a while.
I've seen a massacre like this before. Not massacre, wrong word. Murder.
Did you?
I have. It has been a while. One of our beginning cases before there was a lake. There was a few murders. Hang on. I have actual notes that I've kept. Thanks, Stilt, so you didn't delete them. Saeed Bashara. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was found dismembered and in such a way. We thought it was the Beast, the gang down there, but I don't believe we ever quite figured out who did it.
You left something of this magnitude of violence without solving it.
We believed we solved it. We, what was her name? The priest lady. I don't think I have that written down.
Yeah, let me find that for you.
There was,
Christina.
Yeah, Christina. She was...
You will recall finding that instrument down beneath the pew, the bear claw.
Yeah. Yeah, we thought this lady, Christina, was responsible. She was trying to... Heaven only knows what she actually wanted to do. She wanted Levi. She wanted his heart.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then the beasts and their leaders started attacking, and things went crazy. Stuff started exploding. The lady died. I thought that was the end of it. But maybe I was wrong.
I would dare say you were.
There was also, Proximo. Yeah, Proximo was one of our leads. We captured him, took him to one of the Order safe houses. I haven't heard about him in a while either. Maybe he'll know more.
Who was Proximo?
That's a good question. He wasn't the leader of the gang, was
No.
he? Still?
So
No, he was...
Proximo was the one that had broken into the counselor's
the governor's
house.
Yeah, the counselor's house.
To steal the blueprints to the church that they all went to, where they found Christina, who was trying to stop a god, basically, from rising from the basement.
Yeah, the nature god thing.
Wait, so this woman that was trying to steal somebody's heart, like literally steal it, was trying to stop a god thing from rising?
Yeah, we didn't think much of it at the time. Until it happened.
So,
Ring, ring.
and this mutilation that you saw before was caused by her, or you just thought that it was caused by her?
We thought it was caused by her.
Okay.
Because each of the corpses, if I remember right, didn't have their hearts. And she did confess to removing hearts.
For those corpses, it was all about their chest, and all the hearts were removed, and then their chest and stomachs were torn apart by large claws.
Well, is there a heart in that one?
I'm gonna take a poke around and find out.
All right, William, why don't you investigate for me?
Sure.
Investigate this body a bit.
Poke it with a stick.
I got fingers. I can poke things with fingers.
Go ahead and add your well-fed status to this as well. Enhanced senses.
Meanwhile, Georgie's standing by the door because, ew, gross, no thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Indomitable, so I'm not too affected by the smell or the... And I'm gonna use History Teacher.
Okay.
Because I would assume, even being in a town, there's probably, or in a school, there's probably cadavers I've dealt with as a general kind of thing.
Well, I'm just tapping into what you recall seeing in that morgue all so many weeks ago.
Yeah.
Blanche is staying out of the room where he is.
Okay, so
At
you're
the
like
very least,
staying
has
in
her
the
back to one.
Well-fed.
kind
What's
of in
going
the
on?
dining area.
Yeah.
Do either of you want to investigate while you're out there? If you have questions about his housing?
I'd like to look into the different newspapers that are all over the place. I want to see, like, Is there specific stuff that he was, is there
Okay.
like a pattern to it? Is there specific stuff that they were reading about, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, you
Or-
spend a little bit of time as they're in there looking over the papers. It just seems that he got the paper every morning, would read it, and then discard it. You don't notice anything specifically about from the newspapers that seems to lead
Is
anywhere.
What's the latest newspaper?
Yeah.
The latest newspaper you find would have been... Give me a moment here. About 3 weeks ago.
But the dates are fairly consistent, like every day.
It seems to not necessarily be every day. It's like, I'm not sure how often the news comes out in the city. So it might be, twice a week that he gets it.
Yeah, twice a week.
Okay, so it seemed consistent that he was picking it up regularly.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it stopped 3 weeks prior.
Yep. Correct.
What I'd like to do is look around the place for any diaries or journals or unsent letters.
Okay. So let's start with William here on the body. So you have 3 questions as you're looking over the body. You do find a heart, but you also find 2 punctures directly into it, and the heart appears to be deflated.
Oh, righty.
That's fun.
Ooh. Assume you're going to tell us.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you. I just assume I'm writing right now. Just assume that I'm reporting what I'm finding.
Puncture wounds in the heart that's still in her chest?
Yeah, the chest is torn open. Bones fragmented. The rib cage has been just split.
Ugh.
I have
it's a nasty
3
scene.
questions.
You do, yeah. So 2 more.
Can I tell how long the body's been dead?
Based off of what you can see here, about 14 days.
Well, that lines up. Are there any other organs missing?
Nothing. No, there's
Anything
nothing
missing? Stick
missing.
out?
You do see that there are more puncture wounds on her neck and on her inner thigh.
Does she have any kind of defensive wounds? Like, does it look like she tried to fight back, or does it look like she got taken completely off guard? Or at the very least,
You
completely
don't-
overpowered?
Yeah, it appears that she did not fight back, that she was taken control over immediately. It just looks like perhaps she was expecting someone to join her in her bed, was overpowered, and then attacked.
Lovely. Does it match the description of what the kid said was Nadiv's wife?
They didn't give you an actual description, but just looking around, you do see a portrait of two people. One of them is the woman, based off of the face that's on the bed. She is in it, and then the man next to her looks to be maybe 40s. He's wearing a kind of a dark vest. Appears to be kind of a standard outfit. Both kind of dark skin, dark hair, smiling, but not widely, almost a forced smile, as people would often do, having to hold their smile for a long time to have portraits taken in these days. But yeah, she does seem to be this individual's wife. So yeah, I would say whoever, if we want to investigate the house as well, we can do that. I don't know who wants to lead that investigation.
I mean,
Eric or Blanche, or if you guys want to just help each other. Or...
your call. What do you think, Blanche? I can do it, or you can do it.
I mean, I think we're both pretty well suited, so, but you haven't gotten to roll in a bit, so you can do it.
Great.
See, you do
watch
that.
as I fail this epically.
I will help though, because I have a help point for you.
I could have helped you. I can't help him.
Sorry.
All right.
I think I owe him after last week.
All right, so we're doing the perceptive thing.
I'm gonna say the mental strain, kind of this very dark scene, and having to closely investigate might come into play here.
Maybe I'm not the right guy for this, but
It's too late now. You've been volunteered.
yep, I'm in.
We just start shoving you around the apartment. What do you say?
I don't know. You're gonna know.
Bodies everywhere.
And I would say probably the planner, because I know exactly the sort of things that I would be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what I'll go with. And you said investigate?
Correct.
All right, let's blow this.
Wow.
Oh, even with a help?
Yep.
Jeez.
What the help? I didn't put the help in. So that's a 5. Does that make a difference?
I don't think it would have made a difference.
So, just putting it out there, some of you do have moves you can use if you wish to affect this roll. I know one of you in particular, because I know we often don't use them, but just putting it out there.
How do I go about doing that?
Oh shoot. The help and hurt is using juice, right?
Correct, yeah.
We have tight like that, so that would have given him 2 instead of 1.
Okay, it's still a 6.
And then I can
it's still
do
missing, but
once per session when someone rolls a 6 or less and the MC makes a move, you can make a single additional move before the MC takes their place.
Let's see. And then if you see me flipping things on your character sheet, don't freak out. I'm reviewing.
Oh my god, stop it.
I'm freaking out, man. Freaking out bad.
Freaking out. I gotta refresh.
Black sheep. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think I have anything else, just that.
Yeah, I think that might be. I'm looking. I think that mine might be the only one.
Okay, couldn't remember exactly
so he should be at a 6. So.
Okay, so it's still a miss.
So I could. Yeah, I don't know what that move does. Is the thing.
So basically, for that one, it's because of how fast you are that for a moment you're able to tell something's about to happen, and you set up a way for you to stop that thing from happening. So normally it would be after I say, okay, you just missed, this is what's happening. If you decide, I don't want that to happen, this is what I'm going to do to avoid it, then we can roll again to see if it's avoided. So yeah, I think as you begin to search the apartment, let me take a look at your sheet here.
Boy. Sorry, guys.
The apartment catches fire. Congratulations.
Sorry, I had the last miss and I pulled you inside of my dream. I think this is a minor in comparison.
It depends on what happens.
So you begin kind of looking around the place, and you notice that there are some kind of gaps in the floorboards down below. And as you're going around the side on the left hand, kind of where the curtains blocking off the chamber pot, you walk over towards the kitchenette and you hear yourself kick something, and you look down just to see a small metal key fall down beneath the rafters, and after a moment you hear a solid click as it lands somewhere down below the floor.
Well,
Damn it.
unless I can catch that.
I mean, isn't that how your power works? Is it you're fast enough that you can intercede
That's-
before things like that can happen?
It is, yep.
That's why I'm assuming Stilts explained it like that. Yes. So.
So yeah,
Well-
William, you hear this metallic click as someone kicks something across the floor, and you hear it like skirting across the floor. And you do have a moment to get over there quickly and stop it from falling and disappearing.
I will do that. Yes.
All right, I'm gonna say that's a take the risk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna use super speed, and so I'm gonna use 9 lives. When I take the risk with power attacks from this team, it's dynamite,
Okay.
which means that
If you get a 12 plus, we get to pull out some new fancy things.
yeah, and so we're gonna use predict the foe's next move as well.
Let's see.
I'm gonna predict where it's sliding and try to hop in front of it and catch it. Type of
Makes
thing.
sense. I would say your well-fed status can play in here as well.
All right. Yeah, we'll go with that and take a risk. Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Nice.
So it is a 12. So on a take a
Sweet.
risk for 12, let me read off the options here. We've never
Dynamite.
done this before, so this is fun and exciting stuff. Let's see. Take a risk, dynamite. If your move is
It's
dynamite on a
happening.
12 plus, you pull it off spectacularly and even turn the situation to your advantage. Take 2 juice, and you can use it to choose effect improvements from Change the Game. So somehow you are able to not only like jump over and grab this key, but you're like reading the situation. You're like learning more about the place you're in. So yeah, you take 2 juice that you can use as you wish, as if you were changing the game as we go through here. So you all see in just this flash, William's now laying there, and he has this small black iron key in his hand that you swear was just falling into the floor, but nope, it's in his hand. And he kind of looks up. There's like bottles that have just been displaced and kind of rolling, making that, small glass like clicking sound as they're rolling across the wood floor.
Ha!
Nice catch.
Yeah,
That was impressive.
I have my uses.
I think you can get off the floor now.
I'll stand up with a flourish because why not? Wow. What do we think this goes to?
I haven't the foggiest. Can we look around and see if there's something around that looks like it would take a key?
So looking briefly around, there's cabinets down below the sink that may be locked. There's a side table next to the bed. If you want to investigate as well to get a definite answer, we can do that, or you can spend some time checking locks.
I'll investigate, sure.
Okay.
It worked out awesome when I did it, so
I can help.
I
this
recuse myself.
And you stand there for a moment, Eric, like knowing you kicked the key and you swear you saw it falling, but somehow William's there, and now everyone is kind of looking at him and smiling towards his abilities, and for a moment you kind of feel like, wait, that was supposed to be me.
Eh.
So I'm gonna go with patience and cunning, library benefactor, and I don't think I have anything else.
Okay.
I'll give you a help point, so it'll be 3.
Thank you. Investigate.
Correct. Yep.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
We're on fire.
Well, some of you are.
So you take a moment to kind of study the lock, and I mean, Blanche is familiar with locks and keys. She has to make sure that the house is in order, that the staff is not getting into places they shouldn't.
Keeper of keys and grounds at Hogwarts. Sorry.
So eventually you notice that there's a trunk that's actually kind of down underneath the bed, and you avoid the body, but you kind of point it out to one of the Eric or William to pull it out for you. It's a fairly large traveling trunk. They pull it out into the main room and place the key in it, and you pop it open. The lid kind of pops up. As you flip the lid over, it's split kind of half and half. On the left-hand side, there's a stack of maybe 6 or so shirts that from the collar down to kind of halfway down the chest are caked in blood. On the right-hand side, there's quite a bit of cash.
Well, on the one hand, we know what happened to all of that money he was taking to the casino, at least where he kept it in the meantime.
And
Did he have
William,
did he have
the
any money?
pattern on the collars of those shirts is quite reminiscent to a few of your shirts.
No, they're not like me. Nobody's like me. This is something vicious. This is somebody feeding and wanting to hide.
Feeding.
Yeah.
You seem to know an awful lot about this kind of thing, William.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've never blacked out and found yourself somewhere else, right?
No, but I did yell at a horse.
Okay.
I forget what I Yeah.
I love the, okay. What?
Well, I ate a horse once, and then I can't remember what I said to the horse. Do you remember still? I yelled at it as I ate on
You
it.
yelled at it for a bit, and then you ate it.
Yeah, I fed on a horse. It's not something I'm proud of. It's an instinct that it takes a long time to control. And this person has had no guidance.
So you're.
You'll get there. Starts with a V. Ends with an empire.
Okay.
There's no K.
I'm sorry. I'm trying so hard to be serious, but I can't. Starts with a V, ends with an empire. There's no K. Oh god. Okay. Alright. I'm fine. I'm good.
Yes. Well, we all know what I am. It's okay.
I guess we do now.
Yeah.
Well, now you know.
Indeed. It's not like the order thought to prepare us.
No.
Oh, it was in my briefing.
Well, they don't provide the same briefing to all of us.
I have been around a tad bit longer.
So, okay. So we've got, he's a vampire. He's been killing people. He's been getting a lot of money.
Is there any sign with all of the bloody clothes and the money and whatnot? Is there any sign of where the money came from?
So as you begin digging in, kind of past the money, you come across a note. Actually, it looks like a notebook, and the last thing that's written there is a name, Arnold Thalman. It has an address in the West Slums, and it says wager of 15 pounds beneath it. It has a date and time that shows about 2 weeks ago.
Uh-oh.
Well, once we're done here, I think we know who we need to go look in on next.
Yeah. Jeez.
Thomas! Ah.
I heard that before, and I was like, maybe that's just my imagination, but that came on strong.
It did. That scared me for a second. I actually jumped.
I get excited when Thomas
Oh,
happens.
Thomas has come in. You hear this as the train is passing through the ethnic borough, heading off. Must be
Guess who gets
the
to
afternoon.
make the initial roll? Huh? Guess who
Indeed.
gets to screw over the fellows?
Who?
It is Blanche run again, once again, as she was the last to roll.
Oh, no.
Yay! What
What are you gonna do to me now?
rolling?
So we start off, and we're going to do a D4 to see who is going to be the lucky roller today.
Better not be a 1. Hey, it's not me.
All right, for a 3, that is going to be Mr. Eric. So, Mr. Eric, please roll me 2d10.
I somehow knew that was going to be... Okay.
Sorry, not sorry.
All right, we have a 9 and a 6.
High numbers are good, right?
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
I totally do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fine.
Unfortunately, the way I have this set up, neither high or low is good to get on both. You normally want to get one or the other and have them split. So, yeah.
Yeah, they're good for stilts. They're not good for us.
They're good for the people listening at home.
Listen, I can't burn any more powers.
Are
I got
you
nothing left.
entertained?
It's all over for you now.
Are you not?
So as you
entertained?
kind of dig through
Eric's
here,
never
you
gonna
find that notebook. You can see going back that there have been other fights. It seems to be, yeah, he's recently been fighting folk for gambles, basically to get money.
Okay.
He's fought not a lot of people to get that much money. Or has been in some very high stakes matches.
When you were looking at, when you were asking about this guy's betting record back at the casino, was he winning or was he just coming with more money?
He was
It
just,
is. Yeah.
he was coming in with more, so he was depositing
Okay.
more as
Okay.
the weeks grew. At the very, very bottom, underneath all the money, you find a single leaflet of a bar in downtown. It's kind of on the edge of... Let me actually pull it up real quick. Sorry. Give me a moment as it loads. And don't forget, if you haven't been doing so, you do have the roll 20 to be taking notes and all that in. So yes, the bar, it's located in the heart of downtown, and it's called Irony, a bar.
Sure, yeah. I would just name my bars Bar.
Would you
Mhm.
sell the beer brand beer there?
No, there would be like Bar A and Bar B. And then once you get enough of them, because the name's a hit, and you start a franchise, you get Bar A1, Bar B1.
Bar A is the Canadian branch.
That's Bar A.
We know that he fights people. He was fighting people for quite a lot of money. He's apparently a vampire, which is disturbing news, but matches up with the whole creature of darkness thing, I think.
And it would give him an edge when he's fighting in a fight club.
It would. And he was fighting enough, and at the very least in high stakes enough matches to make a lot of money that way. And he had a gambling problem. And a drinking problem.
Night.
What?
We know there were at night as well, so that limits the possibilities for these types of things. No one's gonna go out and street fight in the middle of the day when they're a vampire.
You don't seem to have any problem functioning in the middle of the day?
There are none like me.
Blanche is gonna give like a hearty roll of the eyes at that, because to her it just sounds like he's bragging.
Well, it could be that, or it could be the flex that comes with it. You know? Oh yeah, there's none like me. Oh yeah.
Brother.
Oh brother, can't you see the muscles on my
Alright, alright. Focus, people. Focus. Jesus.
You started it.
So I think you still have one more question. Your investigate roll.
I think I still have 2 juice as well, so.
You do.
Well, anyone else want to pitch in?
So is
Stop
this
making me come up with all the questions.
is this about the house or the chest itself?
In the chest.
It can be either. It was just an
okay.
investigate about the room. So anything other than the body.
Is there any sign of someone like forcing their way in before, like a window that looks broken or a door that's out of place or something, just in case this wasn't necessarily him? Maybe he
No.
got on the bad side of somebody else?
Everything is locked up, or at least before Eric got to it, was locked up tight. I won't say that's your last question, because that's something you can just see.
Okay.
So there's a lot of
that
money
was
here.
There was everything in there, right? In the chest. That was all we found.
Yeah, it was those bloody clothes and then a lot of money kind of hidden away.
Okay.
It does seem
What were
like the amount of blood that would have been on whoever the attacker was does not at all match the clothing that's in the chest. The one in the chest, it's blood just around the collar and a little bit down the chest itself. It's not the entire outfit. For what happened to that poor woman, it would have been the entire outfit.
Oh, these are trophies.
Oh, just shirts he didn't have a way to get rid of.
Well, I mean, he has all this money that he apparently wasn't using.
Oh, he was investing it at the casino. He was gambling in a way.
But not all of it. There's still an awful lot here. I don't know. I just think that seems
How
weird.
much money is there?
probably about 50 pounds, which would be, I don't know, probably
Quite a lot.
around $50,000, something like that.
Shit.
Like,
The
it's
boys-
definitely not normal wage. Like, it's a good amount of money.
Well, what you do is you put the money in the bag, you take the money with you, and then you leave a note, and he'll just come to you.
But no one has seen him. I very seriously doubt he's been coming back.
I'm pretty sure he was the body in the sewer.
That makes
This
sense. It all adds up.
just feels like a third party. The boy said that she was always doing the washing, so maybe she knew of her husband's secondary nature.
That's true. I wonder.
If she didn't know of his nature, she at least knew that he was fighting. But
Yes.
that
Well,
would
that's-
explain why not all of his clothing is messed up, only the ones in the chest. These are significantly bloody.
Yeah.
If only we could ask her.
I've never tried to speak to the dead.
That's not what I meant.
Neither
Okay.
have I.
I have, but they don't tend to answer me.
Oh, my point was I could attempt it. It's just never something I've done before.
Is that a good idea right now
Here?
for you?
Where else would you suggest I do it, Georgie?
Not here.
Do you want me to take the corpse on a walk?
No, but maybe take something of hers,
Oh boy.
like hair.
Let's take her brain.
No, just a few strands of hair, maybe. That should be sufficient.
Just pull it right out of the skull. It's okay. You don't
This
need
is
it
all
anymore.
incredibly morbid and everything, but again, I mean, do you think this is a good idea to even consider trying right now, Blanche?
I'll be fine.
We could take it and then do it later. Elsewhere.
I don't know that there's going to
I'm
be
not
another
caring
place more secure than where we are now, unfortunately.
And honestly, now that we've broken the seal on this room, so to speak, it probably will only be a matter of time before somebody comes to investigate it. So if we're going to do anything, we should probably do it now, if you're certain.
I'm never certain of anything, but no good ever came from sitting back and letting things happen. So, I would like to attempt to summon the spirit of this lady.
Okay.
Hopefully,
I'm
we've
gonna,
done this before. We'll see how it goes.
I'm gonna go grab her a chair at the very least, in case she does pass out again.
So
Stilts
before
did
we
not
have
see that
this,
coming at all.
before we have this seance, let's take a quick break. Quick 5-minute break. And,
Stilt is like, I need a few minutes to prepare
well,
for this.
no, I think you might need to. This is probably going to be a stop holding back rule, as this is definitely
Oh, no.
new and never before seen abilities.
I just meant
So it's a pretty big roll coming up. And,
figuratively.
A figurative comment from William has become Blanche going, you know, I've never tried that before. Let's do it.
you've been seeing a lot
Yeah.
of things today. Maybe
yeah.
you haven't completely refocused.
Look, if you bring it back to life, I'm all up for redeading a body. It's
I'm
okay.
not gonna bring it back to life.
You don't know that.
You think
Just
you
a
won't.
little bit of necromancy. It's fine.
You didn't think you were gonna pass out from a glass of wine either, and
See?
almost kill Eric.
He's right,
I didn't almost kill Eric. In fact, I'm not even aware that Eric was in my head briefly.
Oh, I think
True.
you've got a sneaking suspicion.
You
I knew that
someone
somebody
was
in there,
but
but I didn't know it was you.
In an
That was-
entire
Stilt
casino
was
full
very,
of strange
very
people.
specific
Yeah,
about
you
that.
just know someone was in there.
Right.
And
I need a drink.
Yep. So we'll take 5 when we come back. We will
Alrighty. Be
stop
back in a
holding
minute.
back and see what this dead
Wait.
body might have to say.
Is this one where you like blow up if you fail the roll or something? Like you literally.
It's not gonna. It's just gonna be a
There's gonna be
significant
another
cost.
lake.
So, yeah, we'll go over this roll when we come back because it's the first time we've seen it in this group.
The whole city becomes a haunted, like, just
Stop it!
fucking ghost
No.
town.
You really think it's
I
not
came here
already?
to put an end to this shit. Damn it!
All right, back in 5.
Okay.
Oh, I
Man.
can't